what's up, guys? So, sitting with us today is Mr. Nasdaq. And Mr. Nasdaq is a trader that I have not only met but also have seen for the first time on TikTok. And seeing my surprise, this guy is actually from Lansdowne, Cape Town. So, I invited him over today. We're going to have a chat about his experiences in the industry. We're going to have a little chat about the industry as a whole so that you guys can have a little bit more of an understanding about who Mr. Nasdaq is. Mr. Nasdaq, Torek Williams, welcome to the channel.
Thank you so much, and I really appreciate the invite, brother. I really wanted this for a very long time. I follow your content as well, and it's really insightful, and it kind of educates and it creates awareness for people who want to embark on the journey, but obviously they want to do it the right way. So you just putting it out there, so thank you for that.
Thank you so much. So for those of you who do not know, we were actually supposed to meet up in Pretoria. Both of us was in Pretoria recently, but he had other business responsibilities that he needed to tend to, and when he was done, I was on my way out. But one thing that I did say is that when we touch down in Cape Town, we have to link up with each other. Yep. So Mr. Nasdaq, the name Mr. Nasdaq, does that mean you trade Nasdaq only?
Okay, so Mr. Nasdaq, primarily yes, right? Because I love how Nasdaq moves. It gives me what I want, when I want it, and in the most simplest way. And I do trade US 30, but not so often as Nasdaq and gold. I trade that primarily on news events. So consistently, Nasdaq is my heart and soul.
In your opinion and in your eyes, how do you feel Nasdaq is being portrayed as of late in this industry? Because as you may know, there's a whole lot of people that carries the name NAS 100, which is obviously a reference to Nasdaq. They carry that moniker and they end up scamming people with that. How do you feel about that?
About scamming people using Nasdaq, I definitely feel that, everyone wants to hustle. They want to put bread on the table, okay? And people they're not honest about certain things, right? So for me personally, I don't believe, let's say example, robots, right? Because number one, robots doesn't have a heart. There's no emotion to it, okay? Yes, it's based on people's strategies and so forth, but at the end of the day, you want to trade your own money. You understand? And that's just my opinion on it. And I think people who goes in with ill intent or malicious intent, it will definitely come back to them, 100%. That's why for me, it's important to embed understanding based on my knowledge and embed understanding for the person to be set up independently and long term. That is what I do. So
Yeah, I'm really glad that you mentioned long term and independently, because in general, when you look at the industry and how mentors are moving in the industry and how they price certain of their things, you kind of get the feeling that some of them are actually just living off client money. And that is also a problem. I mean, by all means, charge for your services, charge as much as you want, but don't rip off people. And I believe you also can relate
to it. Absolutely, 100%. And I can give you an example, Mr. Scam Exposer. So, let's say 5-6 years ago, when I wanted to embark on this beautiful journey of Forex, challenging but great, right? I reached out to a former team leader because I come from the corporate environment, right? I was an agent at that time and I had a team leader, right? Obviously I can't mention his name. So I really looked up to him in terms of his capabilities in the call center and in the environment. And then he opened up his mentorship, right? So at the same time, you know the person, number one, you created a relationship with this person, and you're just spending time with him because, to be honest, he was my role model at that time. So then what happened was, I then wanted to embark on the journey of trading. I then reached out to him. That was in December, and that time I just got my bonus, and I paid him for it. I paid him, I think, 8,000 to 9,000 rand for a course, right? And for me,
is this now it's not this December now.
No. Let's say five years ago. 5 years
Good.
ago. And what happened was...
so you got some years behind you.
Yeah. So what happened was I then paid him the money, and me expecting that individual intervention, that coaching, that one-on-one. The only thing he did was send me a PDF file, right, where I could get on the internet. And it was just one-on-one where he actually told me what a candlestick is and so forth. So for me, that person projected what? He wanted my money, right? Versus someone who's charging for something,
for service.
Honestly speaking, and having that coaching, that support. You know what I mean? Because that person has the intention, he wants to help you. He wants to set you up for long-term success. This person who I invested my money in at that time did not give me that. And for me, as a title of scammer.
So, you bring up this conversation of how this guy basically got you in, you paid him, and it was just one PDF, one-on-one. I wanted to ask you, as a mentor yourself, what do you feel about the mentorship space in this industry?
Yeah, great question, right? So I think mentorship in this industry is not what it's supposed to be, right? It's not what it's supposed to be. For me, mentorship is, okay, I'm directing you, right? Versus coaching, I'm going to take you from A to Z and I'm going to show you on how to do it. Then the mentorship comes in. You understand the mentorship element. So for me, again, and once again, I'm not saying that I'm the best. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I have a great understanding of the market. And some people think that they have a great understanding in the market. Example, if you deposit, let's say 500,000 Rand now, right? How easy is it to make 100,000 Rand off one trade? Very easy. What is that person going to do? Project it on social media. What is the typical average person going to do? Fall in love with that, right?
100%.
Now, this person who made that 100K have a mentorship, right? So now that person is going to want to chase what he, because he's projecting, I made it. You understand? But then again, you need to, or that person need to identify his coaching capability, his skill set in terms of understanding the market, and how consistent is he in his trading capabilities. You understand? And most importantly, the support. Because some mentors, what they do is, and people come from many mentors who came to me and they said, you know what, I learned nothing. Right? I learned nothing. And for me, that's actually sad because that person invested in that person and he just wasted his time, and unfortunately, it is what it is.
Unfortunately, wasted his money as well.
Absolutely.
So, I think, and I'm sure the people out there will agree with us that mentorship is kind of in a dodgy space at the moment, right? So, the next question that I do have for you is, how does what you bring to the table, how does that affect the industry? Does it, let me elaborate on that. When you do your mentorship and a client has paid and all of that now, what is different from you, or what do you do that is different from what you see the rest of the industry is doing? Because when I look at it like this, that PDF thing, I went through it as well.
So you can relate.
That one day one-on-one thing, I went through it as well. And the sad thing for me is where my mentors wasn't so, you might have heard of them, Rowan Landsberg and the late Quentin Moody. Well, they themselves wasn't pompous and, oh, look at this, look at, because we, our classes were at Lagoon Beach Hotel, right? And when I walked in, you know the first thing, kyk jy my bro, ons ons colors mos. When you meet the bra, you don't care about this. You look to the shoes first, because the shoes tell you what kind of bra you're dealing with right now. And I walked in, Ruan has a pair of All Stars on, Quentin has a pair of Jack Purcell's on, and for me that didn't fit the trader image, if I can say it like that. So that is why I'm saying they might not have been pompous in that sense, right? But I was also lured into like a picture, bed, money that was on the bed, and the moment I went, and I'm so glad that they weren't pompous, because that also made me not be pompous in the industry. Got that PDF, got that one-on-one just for the one day. It was supposed to be for 3 days. And I couldn't move. It was like I'm stuck in limbo. And I wanted to ask you this because I'm gonna ask this question out of personal experience now. For me, signals is a must. Because it's one thing for me to say, Tariq, here's the ingredients, bake a cake.
Correct.
I can write it down. Now you do this, now you do that, now you do that. You're still gonna fail somewhere. But now, why I say signals is important, signals to me is like, you are giving me the recipe to bake the cake. You are taking me to the stove. You are showing me how you're mixing your wet ingredients. You're showing me how you're mixing your dry ingredients. You're showing me how the cake is rising. You're showing me everything. Now I know how to work with it. And I mean, I never got that from my mentors. Do you think that that is something that mentors should maybe adapt going into the future? Because there's a lot of mentors that I've met that they do mentorship, but they don't do signals. And for me, it's just like, but how are you proving to your mentor that your recipe is working?
Correct. So within the Mr. Nasdaq Academy, or me personally, I think it's important to have that service, because at the end of the day, your signals is a project. How can I say, it projects your capability. You understand? So example, if you're taking a signal now from Mr. Nasdaq, and obviously I'm taking the signal as well, and you see like, yay man, this is not consistent, number one, there's always being losses, your SL is always being hit. So yes, indeed, signals is important, and Mr. Nasdaq do have that as part of the mentorship. And again, it's consistent. I get
and the one price
one price, yes. So I have the signal service,
standalone, and then you have the
mentorship,
the combo,
and then I have the combined
combo.
Yes.
Yes,
absolutely.
That is really beautiful to know, because something that I personally had a problem with is where mentors would have mentorship and signals, but they would never combine the two. If you want mentorship, now you bought it, now you see maybe, okay, I need the signals because I need to learn entries and where to place my stop loss, take profits, but now you must buy that service. So I just want to just give you a first bump for just having that combo, man, because as a consumer person, as I told you out of mine, and I mean, I'm not the person that is hard of understanding, right? But for those that are, and you a mentor, not to shade anyone that you've dealt with, I'm very certain you've also come across some clients where you have had to explain something maybe 100 times over, just in a different way.
No, definitely.
And for me, that is why signals is so important, because now you have an explanation that you can put an action to. And then obviously putting that together gets the result. And now I think you can also shed some light on this, because people generally think I'm gunning on them for signals that's wrong and stuff like that. But not every trade is a winner.
Not every
trade is gonna go to your take profit. Not every trade is gonna make you smile.
Correct.
Can you tell me how you handle your clients that come to you?
No,
it's
absolutely.
Like, Mr. Nasdaq, oh man, like, that signal, man. How do you handle that?
So for me, for the signal, there's not for signals, there's not really an educational piece, right? But from a person that I am, right? I'm gonna help you. What's the gap for a entry level trader? Lot size. They deposit 1,000 rand, or they go wild on a lot size. So what I do is I tell them, based on the broker that they have, send me your account history, right? I want to see an entry based on any broker. I take my time out to obviously calculate, because I have a formula on what lot size you need to use in order for you not to blow your account. So I guide you in that way, and if you being wild, that's all on you. But as long as Mr. Nasdaq honored and displayed the service that I obviously need to give them, even though it signals buy done. And for me, I do not or we do not trade impulsively, Mr. Nasdaq. Now, I don't say buy now at any time and then boom, boom, boom. No, no. The market needs to come to us. I give you a price where you need to enter. I give you a TP. Our TP1 is called bread. Our TP2 is called milk. Our TP3 is called electricity. If at the end of the day you have a 10 to 50% increase based on, let's say, the strat that I've educated you on, or the signals, I say you made it. You made it for today. Close your MetaTrader. Move on with your life. Done.
Oh, I'm so glad you say that, because newbies are very often stuck in that I need to trade every day. I need to trade every day, because they look up to these Instagram traders where, and I mean, you have most certainly come across that, where you can't even see an entry point in the market or where a position can be taken, but the next person is posting blues, and it's everyday blues. So you're a humble guy, and I really appreciate that. When I came outside, no, not to lie, now when I came outside, I was thinking to myself, yeah, this brother's from Cape Town, so he probably also has like a pomo or milk or something. But then when I saw the Uber and I saw your face, for me it was just like, nah, this is an honest bra, man. This is an honest bra. How long has it taken for you to come to this point where it's like you're successful, you feel successful, your trades are successful, what you touch turns into success?
Yes. So, Mr. Exposer, let me tell you something, right? Let's take away trading, right? In order for us to realize what we have and we need to value, we need to go through certain things in our life, right? So for me, a lot has happened. You know what I mean? I was the most cockiest person ever. I was the most selfish person ever. What did it impact? It impacted the people around me, right? And at the end of the day, those people around me supports me to get to where I am. So how's it fair to them if I'm cocky, if I'm boastful, if I flex? You know what I mean? It's 2024. Yes, people want the lifestyle, people want the cause, but what is guaranteed in life? Going 6 foot under, brother. Today you make 100,000. Tomorrow you can lose 200,000. And then yesterday, what did Mr. Nasdaq do? Post. Right? And now it's gonna be difficult for me to keep up that persona there, because what? It's Mr. Nasdaq. I posted. You know what I mean? So that's it, brother.
That was nogal a tight conversation there. Tell me, in your career, I can only imagine how many accounts you've blown. If you can count, how many would you say have you blown?
Yeah, so in my academy,
and guys, let me just say, blowing is normal.
Yes, no, definitely.
You come from blowing demo accounts to moving demo accounts, you switch to real, your cop gets big because you understand what you're doing, you know what you're doing, but you get a little bit cocky with the lot sizes, boom, you blow your account. You didn't mean to blow your account, you just got cocky with it, and then blowing your account happens. So, blowing an account is nothing to be ashamed of. It has happened to the best of us.
No, absolutely.
So for
how
me, many do you think you've blown?
So I don't know how many accounts I've blown, but I've calculated for the past, let's say 2 years, or let's say 3 years of my trading journey, and I'm trading now, going in for my 6th year, I've lost over 700,000 rand.
Sure.
Okay? And again, 700,000 rand, not in one go. Obviously, it's you get paid because I was
cumulative.
Here we go. You get paid. Oh, this on payday, I'm gonna make that money. Bro, you deposit, boom, 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 done. But yeah, it's been a difficult and but we learn from it.
Okay, I'm so glad that you mentioned payday because that was literally my reality for such a long time. You know. There is times that I would have the opportunity where I can like quickly check my trades in between tables and stuff, but it was also a case of I have to wait till the end of the month because then I get a chunk of money. The shop is gonna be full, there's gonna be clients, so I can make money of that and use it there as well. And for a very long time it was fund, make money, get cocky, blow. Fund, make money, get cocky, blow.
Yeah.
And at some point in 2018, that changed because for me, it's like, my bro, you have the skill. You are making your salary like each week. Be smart.
Yeah.
Save your salary.
Yeah.
Make your salary on your trades. Withdraw one full salary. Buy a couple of months rented and just focus on this trading.
Yeah.
And that is how I was able to escape what was happening at Spur, because if I didn't leave Spur, I would have probably still been there, because to be honest with you, waitering is addictive, my bro. And I think that is where the love for money on my end also came in, because I could go into Spur today with no money and I would come out 300, 350, 400 rands of tips. On your end, how did funding and blowing go? Or how did your transition from funding, blowing to realizing something needs to change? I need to make a change in order for me to go up.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So, look, apart from funding, I used to make loans from people. I'm gonna pay you back, but I don't disclose to them what I'm gonna do with the money, So for me, I strongly believe that trading is the way. It's just that in your early stages, when you start trading, you fund and blow. Then I realized, if you're gonna fund, let's say, 1,000 rand today, right? You're gonna blow it based on your cycle. So have a budget for trading, meaning, let's say on average you spend, let's say 20,000 rand in your early stages of trading, 20,000 rand a month on trading. Take that 20,000 rand, invest it in your trading account, keep the lot size small, because now psychologically what you're gonna do, you're gonna up the lot size. Why? Because you have a bigger account. So keep the lot size like you were trading on that 1,000 rand account, and learn and develop the skill that's easy, simple, and consistent. And that way you will make it.
You will make it, yeah. I think people are really, and I think with you being on Twitter, you'll be able to correspond with me or not. But whenever you go onto Twitter, it's not on Twitter, sorry, on TikTok.
Yeah.
On lives, you will see accounts that's being flipped and this and that, and it's a lifestyle. And,
yes.
So I think that beginners, they are still highly caught up in the flipping of accounts, into that whole mentality of I can come with 100 rand and I can quickly have 10,000 rand at the end of the day. I mean, that is dangerous thinking, but that also falls part of them not wanting to take accountability for what they're busy doing. How do you bring across that message of accountability to clients? And let me just elaborate why I asked this question. Sometimes as mentors, I feel it's important for mentors to kind of highlight the dangers of trading, so that these clients don't have the misperception that they're gonna win all the time. Because the moment they lose, it's a case of, oh, but you said this and that. Why did this happen? And clients are so busy looking around them instead of the mistakes that they made themselves. How do you bring across the message of accountability to your clients?
So for me, definitely, I think setting that expectation of trading is a risk is fundamentally important, and that is what I say before the people come on board with me. If we're aligned and they say that, look, Mr. Nasdaq, Tariq, I understand, then we're on the same page. And what gives them confidence is, let's say, a person who has never traded before, and that is the caliber of people I want in my academy, right? Because if a person who has never traded before don't have bad habits, you know what I mean? They're not gonna come here barcoding. They're not gonna, you know what I mean? So for me, even if you 5-10 years trading, the beginner, I educate you on lot size and risking your capital. You understand? Before they actively start trading, I tell them, okay, person X, tell me, how much are you going to deposit when I say if we both aligned and you know what you're doing and you understand strat or whatever, how much are you going to deposit? They tell me I'm going to start off with, let's say 2,000 rand. Okay, now I break it down with them. 2,000 rand on the 0.10 on X broker. How much does that give you per point on the Nasdaq market? Okay, let's say 2 rand, right? Okay, so if you're risking 30 points per trade, 2 rand times 30 is equal to 60 rand, right? So if you're gonna blow your account, take your 1,000 rand and divide it by 60, that will give you, let's say, 7, 8. So you need to lose 8 trades in order for you to blow that account. Just as an example, you know what I mean? So I make them understand and I give them live examples of what it should look like if you're a disciplined trader, if you're a mature trader, and I give you a live example of what an immature trader looks like. Over trading, over risking, right? All day trading, right? Just being in the market all the time. And I think that influences why people blow. I have a rule, 3 trades a day. Win one, you're out of the market. Win one, lose one, you still have one. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's your capital. A MetaTrader is not a game. Some people think it's a game, you must be in it all the time. Take your money, move on with your life. Trading, I say this again, trading must be plugged into your life. It shouldn't control your life, even though it can be overwhelming. Because I mean, people need more and want more all the time.
All the time, it's that's facts that you said. How do you deal with clients' greed, my bro? Because that is something that I've come found not only within other people, but also like within myself, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you would get to let's make an example now. You would get to like your 10th TP, you haven't hit stop loss yet. Now for that 11th TP, you haven't even entered the trade yet, but you're already visualizing a TP for yourself now. And now, because I want to get the MacBook, I want to get the iPhone, the GTI. How do you deal with that, my bro?
So, with greed, definitely, all of us have that in us, right? Again, we want more, we need more. And if there's opportunity, especially in the market where there's, I wouldn't say deficit, but there's a probability where you can make the money, right? So, for me, I say, if you go to any bank and you invest, right? What is the bank going to tell you? Okay, per annum I'm going to give you 9-10% return based on your investment. Why can't you just have that mentality when you trade? 1,000 rand, 10% of 1,000 rand is how much? You know what I mean?
Let me just talk on that conversation.
Yeah.
You know, now I'm glad you brought up the conversation talk, because I mean, you are probably trading right now with a sizable account, maybe. So even 5% for the month could maybe do for you.
Yeah.
10% of your account maybe for the month could do for you. But people do not understand the power in percentages, because they have been conditioned now to be like. And I don't know if you have realized this as well, but nowadays traders consider a 1,000 rand deposit a lot of money. Look, it is a lot of money. Let's not be condescending and look down on it. But for the activity that you're gonna come do, like you can't even risk properly with a 1,000 rand. So 10% on a 1,000 rand is gonna be focal, and that is why they don't see it like that, man.
Correct.
But the conversation that also latches onto this is many of the people when they this is something that I've also noticed with people around me, right? They stumble onto trading. They see trading as their way out. So now it's like, okay, by my next paycheck, by my next paycheck.
I was there.
Instead of I'm gonna still work for the next year out. I will save 1,000 rand from my pay every month.
There we go.
I will demo for this next year, so it's 12 months worth of demoing.
Yes.
By the end of the year, you're sitting with a 12,000 rand. Now, let's work on 10% on that for the month.
Exactly.
Let's go work on, and let's be real, there's going to be months where you far exceed that 10%.
Absolutely.
And then there's going to be months where you just made that 10%. Then there's maybe going to be a month or two where you underperform.
Correct.
But people do not really realize the power that's in percentages.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if you started at 10k, let's must say 10k, you've now saved up 1,000 rand per month, and by some chance you needed money for 12, so there's 2 months that you couldn't save up, so now you have a 10k. Now you just focus on 10% per month. Your first month, that's 1,100. Immediately, I mean, sorry, not 1,000, that's 1,000 rand, 10% now.
10%.
But in general, it's almost now 11,000 that you have altogether now. So immediately, your 10% changes. Your 10% isn't 1,000 anymore.
Correct.
Your 10% that you're going to make next month is 1,100. Now you get that 1,100, which means you're now sitting with 12,100. So now your 10% becomes a little bit bigger.
Correct.
So, and that always also has to do with expectation and stuff. But I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned earlier that it's a bit tough working with students that have come from a mentor. How hard do you find it painting on a canvas that has already been painted on?
Yeah, so that I always first question I ask, have you been trading or are you trading? How long are you trading for? I don't ask who's your mentor because that's irrelevant for me, right? That's none of my business, right? There's a reason why I came to Mr. Nasdaq now. You know what I mean? So for me, I tell them in the beginning, based on how Mr. Nasdaq trades, it's gonna impact you. Because you are used to a certain way, right? And now you're adapting to a new way. It's just human that you're gonna have challenges. So what I do is, you're booking a lesson with me, right? I want to see your trading history, okay? And we're going to go through line by line, and I'm going to ask you, why did you follow strat? Yes or no?
Important.
No, I didn't. Okay, that's already a red flag for me, you understand? Yeah. So it's all about, how can I say, identifying where they went wrong, okay? And for me to come in there to support them, and if it is that they are continuing being the immature trader, it's on you. I can only support you in that way. I can't control what you are doing. I can influence it yet, absolutely. And I can show you, listen, if you do this, this is the impact and this is the outcome. If you do this, this is the impact, that's the outcome. Choice is yours.
True.
Yeah, but
so, I've heard what you said about the robots.
Yeah.
I've heard. Now look, people expect me to go into fight mode when people have something bad to say about the robots. And it's not that that was generally bad.
No.
You may be saying that because you had a negative experience with a bot, maybe.
Correct.
You may be saying that because you maybe saw a friend or a family member go through something with a bot. You know, normally people expect me to go into like fight mode, and I always tell them, listen, I'm just the reviewer guy.
Yes.
And when you look at how I reviews, now as a mentor, I just want you to let me know if I'm doing my reviews correctly, man.
Yeah.
So let me just ask you this. So my mindset with doing the reviews, right? My first review was done like this. My second review was done like this. My third review now with Rydall has also been done like this. But I wanted to ask you, do you think that my approach is fair? Here's my approach. I get your product from you, right? And I'll flat out say it. I don't want to pay for your product because I'm going to put your product to the test. I don't want any bias in my opinion.
There we go.
Because if I'm gonna give my money for this product, I'm already there's a certain feeling I'm gonna have towards it. So that is what I want. I don't want to pay for it because I want to be able to be like, man, it won, man, it lost. Either way, I'm just reviewing it. Then I do it over a long period of time because you know the reason why I do these reviews of mine over a longer period of time is because I feel like over my years as a scam exposer, people feel like I am unfair sometimes towards the people that I expose. So I feel like with me doing a review over a span of maybe 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, with Tronique it was like 7, almost 8 months. I feel like if I do it like that, I have a solid database to work on, but also I've given the mentor ample time. Whether it's the mentor, the bot developer, the signal provider, account manager, I've given you ample time to prove to us what you are capable of. Because check, in month one, let's be real as traders. Let's just be real as traders. They, like we said earlier when we spoke about percentages, there is months that you're not gonna reach your target.
Of course.
There is months that you're gonna have an off month. So I never wanted it to be like I review your service for 1 month. Now it's in your off month that I catch you. Now I have a whole wrong perception. I put a wrong perception out about you. So how do you feel about my approach? Do you think there's anything I can improve? Okay, sorry. The last part of my approach. I also come to you because in my first review, that was most now Rolio, Jack and True Trader and Jamal and them, I went to them to have an in-person conversation with them. Like, I mean, you can see, like I said earlier, I saw the Uber first, then I saw you. When I saw your face, it's like, this is honest, bruh. I can trust this man. And that is just my perception. If I come to you live and I ask you questions live and I see your reactions live, I can also gauge.
Absolutely.
And if I get it like on camera, everyone else can also gauge, is this bruh solid or not? That is just why I go to them. And it's also at the end of the day, just to put a face behind the brand.
Absolutely.
So, is there anything that you think maybe I can improve when it comes to how I do these things?
Absolutely not, because I strongly believe if something is working for you, why change it? Where were you a few years ago compared to now? You've been boosting. You know what I mean? It's just an upward trend for you. So for me, I'd say from an external or from an outsider looking at your content and how you approach certain things, honestly, I feel that you are not biased about anything, and like you mentioned now, you didn't ask them for money because that will influence you to already have a bias. You understand? So for me, no, absolutely not. Don't change anything. It's just that you get different types of people, man, and some people's EQ is not at the level where it needs to be, so they wouldn't understand. You know what I mean? Let's say we watch a movie now, right? You watch the movie from start to finish. I watch the movie halfway. You will have an opinion, I will have a completely different opinion. You understand? And that is just how people are these days. It's just so what it is. But for me, if I should just say it in the most simplest form, brother, don't change anything that you are doing. From a business perspective, number one, and from a people's element, because you know that if you say something that's inaccurate about Mr. Nasdaq, you're going to be held accountable.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So why would you know that? So why would you put yourself and family at risk and even your brand?
I don't. You know that is my whole thing. Because whenever I'm gonna lean more into reviews in this industry now. And the reason why I do reviews is mainly so that people can see. It's not so that people can come and buy. It's not so that people can come and make a decision on is the service going to issue. It's more a case of you this bruh. You say you can perform this kind of miracles.
There we go.
I just want to see you perform.
There we go.
I just want to be in the miracle. I just want to feel your miracle shining upon me. That is all.
And guess what? It benefits the person that you're reviewing as well. You know what I mean? It benefits everyone, even the people who, I know you're not saying you're gonna sell it to the people, you're just reviewing, and people have the choice whether to take the service or not.
And you know now, I think that is why let me tell you, my bro. So with True Trader now, I almost couldn't do a full review because before I could get an account by them, a friend that I also taught how to trade, Herschel, I asked Herschel, you know more about prop firms than I do. My bro, this man trades a shit ton of money with prop firms. So he went in undercover. And because I told him, my bro, these people can tell me anything, and because I'm not clued up about the prop firm, they can pull me a fast one in front of my eyes. But you that know more, if anything, if it takes long to get your account, if it takes long to get your withdrawal, let me know. And then he let me know, okay, it's been a week now, I've paid for my account, I'm not getting my account. And that is when I knew, okay, because Herschel is also not a bra that will start unnecessary nonsense. And it's him and his brother that took accounts there, you know. And you know, they obviously, so before I could even get to test the service, boom, it's a scam already, right? So I couldn't still do anything there.
Yeah.
My second review was JP van der Linden,
Okay.
and I couldn't visit JP because after I did the review on him, he went to the bush. Also, you must know these white guys, man.
Yeah.
They like to go hunt,
Right,
bro.
yeah.
Even now when I went into Tronique's house, bro, I almost said to myself, what the fuck? There's so many, you must know what they call trophies.
Yeah.
Dead animals.
Yes, I saw
on
it
the-
there. I
on
saw.
the wall. Bruh,
There
and
I don't know if it's a lounge or what, but it's there.
Bro, there's one in the lounge, there's two in his office, there's one when you come in by the door.
I saw.
I'm just like, yeah, bruh, am I safe here? For me, no, also that was also just another experience because I also just wanted to see how do you love, man. You've probably seen Tronique on TikTok.
Yes, I did.
And he's very open. He's very, here's my life.
Yes.
And for me, it was just a case of, dis mos jy is wat jy sê, het sy bly. Ek wil
wil
daar
dit sien,
kom,
ja.
ek wil sien.
Ja.
Dis mos hoe jou kantoor lyk op TikTok, né?
Ja,
Ek wil
wil
sien.
sien.
Dis mos die bottel en die kykie wat so staan in die gehoop. Ek wil sien hy dinge staan.
Ja.
You know? So for me going and seeing him being so open, I'm not sure if that, do you think that will maybe have an impact on the industry? Because you know what I grand about him now, he's even so honest about the fact that he's renting his house and the cars that he has is rented. Do you think that, because for me that is just gonna have a positive impact on the industry, because now automatically it's you're renting things. Now the conversation comes, how do you afford it?
Yeah.
Now the financial education comes into how you actually afford these things. And I mean, for the longest time I've told people, there's no shame in buying something, leasing it, buying it through the bank, financing. There's the right South African term, fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The only problem comes in, and I'm sure you have seen this many a times, maybe in front of you even, where you have a forex trader that is being pressured by the industry. He's paying for this thing monthly, but because the industry is pushing,
Yes.
I bought this cash.
Yes.
I bought this cash.
Yes.
So, do you think that I did there will like have maybe a positive influence on the industry?
The fact that you've been there, absolutely. The fact that you've seen everything yourself, definitely. And the fact that you just mentioned now that people have a certain perception of how a forex trader should be, right? Look, I look, for me, I can have 5 doctors here. If they're driving, let's say, a Mercedes Benz, right? Psychologically, I'm gonna go to him because I feel like he's the most skilled doctor versus the brother that's driving a Uno. But guess what? His priorities is more important than his. You know what I mean? Based on his character, his focus is, you know what? I'm gonna invest there, versus him. That car, you know what I mean? So it's I just think it boils down to the person.
To the person itself,
you know what I mean? That's just my thing.
Because you've probably seen this in the industry.
Yeah.
The lifestyles from certain traders, it differs from trader to trader.
No,
To me, there's no set lifestyle that needs to be.
Yeah.
Look, when you get that house, when you get that car, it's nice and look, people know, hey, this bra made it, but it's that isn't for me, at least. Look, it's the goal I want to end the window, but it's not my priority right now.
Correct.
My priority right now, I don't know if it's the same for you. I think one thing that we do have in common is each of us have 2 children.
Yes.
So for me right now, it's making sure my lighties has their nappies. You help me shift my purity, my bag. So you know, that to me is important. You saw heavy that bag.
Yeah.
So when I go, it's like, okay, I made this X amount of withdrawal.
Yeah.
How much can I spend on my lighties?
Correct.
How much do I have for the debt that I've accumulated in my dumb 20s?
Yeah.
And how much do I have for my bills right now? You know? And then it's only how much do I have to save?
There we go.
So, you know, and I'm getting to that point where it's like every month now there is to save. You know? And in your sense, how long did it take? Because I mean, it's your job, and I don't know if that was the case for you, but my job didn't pay me enough to be able to save every month. But like, it's your job. Then you get into trading where it's like quick and fast money, so you are able to save and stuff like that. But then life hits you and you realize, okay, maybe you can't move as you would have liked to move. But my question to you is, how long did it take for you to get where it's like your withdrawals isn't only hand to mouth, it's hand to mouth and into the pocket?
There we go. Yeah. So it took me 3.5 years. Definitely 3.5 years. And remember, it's not about billions, right? For me, if I can make the salary that I used to get and more, because remember, I was used to a salary at the end of the month.
Quite.
And that salary, I could, how can I say, prioritize my responsibilities. I was able to maintain myself. I was able to maintain the roof over my head. So if I can do that in my trading, okay, so if I can do that in my trading consistently, then what's the issue? Why else must I chase more?
True.
Brother, let me tell you something. I wanted to chase more money. I wanted to chase the title. I wanted to chase so many things. And if I got it, what next? Then I'm gonna chase again. Brother, if you go through certain things in your life, it humbles you. I promise you that. I promise you that.
Have you gone through? I'm not sure if every trader has gone through it, but have you gone through that? It's like you've made the withdrawal. It's maybe your 10th, 20th withdrawal now. So it's a case of, nah, this is normal to me. You spend that money in a weekend and then Monday come home, you have nothing. But it's also a case of there's no one around you. Those that were around you the weekend is somehow now missing. Have you also experienced that?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Was your growth in trading as lonely as mine was?
Bro, lonely, brother, lonely. I'm a person, because I know what it feels not to have. Right?
Fact.
So let's say we go out now, right? And you know Mr. Nasdaq has money. That's your perception. Let's just say that. So you don't know Mr. Nasdaq, but the way he dresses or whatever, he has money. Okay? Cool. Now let's say pay for the bill. Right? What happens is that they obviously gonna expect it again. You know what I mean? And that has happened to me so many times. Right? And when you don't, how can I say, maintain the relationship. But Mr. Nasdaq was there to entertain you. You know what I mean? Mr. Nasdaq was there to help you. Mr. Nasdaq was at your house, helping your kids or whatever. I will never speak what I do specifically. But I mean, people don't acknowledge. And when you need that space, like you said, lonely space, where's that people now? You know?
Did you also experience that where some friends who you maybe thought was going to be around for the whole journey at chapter 99 before you made your big break?
No, definitely, bro. I'm telling you, that has happened all over. And I came to realize that, you know what, it cost me my effort, my emotion, my feelings, my consideration, my money to get to know that person. And I have to write it off. And that's just the saddest part for people. They don't value the small things, bro.
Kijk, one thing I have a real bad issue with, man. I mean, the light is in the pot, they cool, alright, like I said, now I'm there where I can save something every month. So whenever I send a lighty to the shop, I would like give him a 10 rand or something, because I was also at once upon a time a lighty, and you know, auntie in the road and maybe saying, man, while I'm going, I'm already checking to myself, so much change is gonna come out, so she's gonna give me so much money, but then it never happens, right? So based on that, people who think like you have money, man, and you know you might have, but it's like we've spoken about earlier, it's like already counted for because of your priorities and the stuff that you're obviously doing. So how did you find, or how easy was it, hard to work in your priorities with what you were doing?
No, definitely not, because you're making the money, so it wouldn't be difficult for you to actually, how can I say, put that there. No, it wasn't difficult at all.
You know, the reason why I asked you is because when my daughter was born, I experienced a massive knockback in my trading account. I lost, I think it was a 50 something thousand.
Yeah,
you know? And look, I never ever speak about my trading because it's not. Let me say it like this, and you'll be. When I say this now, you're gonna laugh, just at how true it is, man. When your uncles and your father come together, do they sit around and discuss each other's pay slips?
Absolutely not.
Does your grandfather maybe come and be like, oh, hoe jy my kinders, ek het soep gemaak?
Never.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's why, for me, I've never, and I'm gonna start the series now where I do focus a little bit more on trading and stuff, but I've never made it like a mission to like, okay, this is my trading, and this is, because I've always, and I don't know if you can let me know if you have the same mentality or not, but I felt like if I conform to what the industry streets want, I will be trading to impress the industry streets.
Thank you, sir.
And not to fend for my house.
Thank you, sir.
So did you also have that?
Absolutely. In the beginning of my journey, I was like that. I wanted the validation. I wanted to be quiet and show my blues and don't show my reds. Right? To my family and friends, look here, I made this. We spent this. Let's say we went out, we spent 4,000 rand on a bill. I know that maybe on Monday I'm gonna make it up, and guess what? I'm gonna go to them and I say, look here, I made up the money. Brother, that I will never ever do again, because why? It creates you to keep up that persona, and it requires too much admin. It requires too much admin, and guess what? You're gonna make yourself look like a fool, because people around you can pick up. Nah, bro. Something isn't.
Yeah. If you had to explain it in your own words, right? You must have a good relationship with your mother, no?
Correct.
Right? So, if that bus auntie down the road gets to your mother and says like, oh, ek het jou laaitjie gesien op TikTok, sê gou vir my, wat is die week wat jou laaitjie doen? In your mother's words, what do you think would she tell that auntie?
Honestly speaking, he trades forex, he has a mentorship, right? She will do that based on the character and how I know her, right? But also she would, how can I say, already set expectation that she shouldn't involve herself. But Auntie Isma's now gonna talk to Mr. Nasdaq more. You know, she's now gonna tell the rest of the streets, you know what, this is what's happening, and then we're gonna attract more people. And you know what, me being the person I am, indoors. If I'm not indoors, I'm going to Joburg, I'm going to Durban, I'm going, because I don't like too much attention. I don't much. I used to like it, and I saw how it impacted me, right? I don't like it anymore.
Tell me your missions on TikTok.
Yeah.
Because I see there is sometimes that you do go live and you do run over charts and stuff. What is your mission with that?
So for me, going live is definitely what I want. The reason why I go live is obviously to engage with people, especially for people who wants to embark on the journey, and I don't ever show flex or whatever, because I'm attracting the wrong people if I do that. You know what I mean? I'm attracting the wrong people, and when I say the wrong people, I'm speaking about the mentality that, you know what, overnight I'm gonna get that Lamborghini, I'm gonna get that triple story.
That, you know, what you said right now is so deep, because honestly speaking, and you probably could have picked it up, the conversation was the whole time how you put yourself out there, but it was never what your image that you've put out there brings in. I've never thought of that, and you're actually touching on something that a whole lot of people is struggling with, you know, because when you look at it like that, when I now take a look at you, you know, there's no Rolex that I need to. grabbing my attention. There's no fast score that's grabbing my attention.
Yeah.
There's no mention that I'm constant. So when it comes to you, I constantly have to look at your work.
Thank you.
How good are you?
There we go. And
how well do you trade?
There we go.
You know?
There
for me, I'd rather go with someone whose emphasis lies on the skill and the acquiring thereof, instead of someone that is just like, oh, you can get a car, you can buy this house, you can live in this, you know? So how do you quit? Because look, sometimes when people, I'm sure you've experienced this, sometimes people come to you and you see what they're working with in their account maybe, and in a message somewhere there, they would maybe say, oh, in a month I'm driving an M3, in a month I'm driving an M3. How do you deal with that, maybe? How do you let them know, but away? No. It's a drum now.
So what I do, I'm very blunt with them. I say, you want the M3, deposit M3 money.
Hey.
If you want a bread, deposit the bread's money. If you want KFC, deposit KFC money. You know what I mean? Yes, there will be opportunities sometimes if the market moves in your favor. You deposit, let's say 5k. There's a potential that you can make, let's say 25 to 50,000, depending on market condition and how you actually trading that account, right? But I do not set expectation that you will get that M3 if you deposit 10k. Oh no. No. If you want the M3, deposit M3. Leave room for losses.
Leave room for losses.
Yeah.
That is something that people don't want to do. Mr. Nasdaq, I want to touch a little bit on your trading style. You don't have to, because I know trading strategies is it varies from person to person.
Yeah.
But I wanted to find out your methodology. How do you trade? Do you trade technical analysis? Do you trade indicators? Do you maybe have a system that you're working according that tells you when to enter?
No.
How do you trade?
So indicators, absolutely not, right? And again, this is based on my opinion. If it's working for the next person, good for you, right? Continue doing it, because don't change if it's working for you, right? So indicators for me, no, because the move only updates the indicator only updates when the move after the move happened. Correct. Trend lines, Mr. Nasdaq, do not do it because in 2024 that used to work back in the day. Market evolved, everything evolved, so we need to evolve. Okay. SMC, absolutely not, because your understanding of SMC is completely different to mine. It works, but it works. But for me, the way what I want and my personality type, Ben, it doesn't work for me. I've traded most concepts, right? And I've identified that there's a reason for price and time in the market, and that's what I do. And my strategy is designed that way. So everything that I do in my strategy, it's only technical. News events gives us volume in the market. It's just how quicker it's going to go to TP or how quicker it's going to go to SL. But the market does the same thing each and every time.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, I'm so happy that you mentioned SMC now. Because I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about, for me, it's just, honestly, for me, it's just another fad in the industry, because a while ago, everyone was raving major key. I don't know if you were aware of that strategy that was brought in by I think it was Ashley Hastibeer, Jason Noah then traded with major key, made it famous. Because that is why I also went to Ruan and Quentin, because back in the day, if someone had to ask me, bro, how do you trade? But bro, I said with a smile on my face, even though I had losses, I'm a major key trader, bro. So a while back it was major key. After major key, it was just ICT. And now it's SMC. How do you feel about these constant fads it's just popping up? It's just popping up.
Yeah. Look, like you said, as people tell me, the liquidity pool needs to be taken, the sell side. Bro,
when people start talking like that, my head.
Correct. Now I have a person now. He's not in the academy yet, but he's following me for such a long time. And he always used to send me, or he always sends me his analysis, and I see the yellow lines and stuff, and he's speaking that lingo about liquidity pool, and it needs to grab this, it needs to grab that. I laugh, no, but I get irritated, man. Trade what you see. Simple. Trade what you see.
I think, like I said, people in this industry have been conditioned too much to trade based off their dreams and based off what they want, because I think when you look at this industry, you find mentors nowadays, they upload a picture of the info and they're like, oh, just watch in 2-3 months time, I'm gonna have this. And then they do get it.
Yeah.
Let's not rain on them for that. They do get it, but the expectation that's been set. Now the next person thinks, oh, I can come in and I can come and do this. Because if I'm being flat out honest now, I was trading with that gedachte that, but Jason taught my mense major key. Ashley Hastibeer taught Jason major key. Ashley Hastibeer is driving a Mercedes A45 AMG. Jason is driving a Mercedes A45. My mentors, the one is driving a BM, the one is driving an Audi. Where do I fit in? Your first call me, bro. When you do show out, what is it gonna be?
So I had a Honda Ballad, the AMG spec. Right? I had the I had a Golf 5, right? And the latest car I had was a Golf 6 TSI, right? Sold it. Why did I sell it? Because again, there was expectation, right? And so I do not have a car and I don't want a car. Why? Because I'm also traveling a lot, right? I'm traveling a lot, so it's not really a need for me.
I need
okay?
Right now,
and if I'm gonna buy the car, right? If I'm gonna buy the car, it's again going to attract people. You know, and I don't want to do that. Example, if I get that car today, nothing, honest to God, here's my 2 kids' life, no? I can go buy me a car right now after this, right? Now I drive, right? Now I drive, I make videos in the car, right? That's for me is targeting, putting a target on myself, you know what I mean? And I don't want to do that. You see,
I don't think, because I've had this question before where people is like, why don't Cape Town traders flex that much? And I'm like, Maniga, have you experienced Cape Town? Have you experienced Cape Town? And so now they make the examples of your Clint Festa and them, and I'm like, this is people that live in estates. They live behind securitized walls. So you can't compare. The moment they leave that estate, they also have to be on a pause because they're outside of the comfort bubble now. And it's like you say, the moment you start flexing in Cape Town, that target gets put on your back. And if you're not careful, you will become a statistic in Cape Town.
Definitely. And
oh my God, we're laughing about it. It isn't even funny now.
And Rydall, you know me, the type of person I'm very social. Right? I love going out. And if I love going out, it's going to require me to drive that car all the time. You know what I mean? And based on my personality, there will always be people hating. Right? Because I'm a social butterfly. You know? And I don't go with the intention of actually want to prove a point to you. It's just the type of person I am. And guess what? There's a potential chance to follow me. There's a potential. So what I do is, it's fine. You know what I mean? Uber is okay for me, right? So yeah, no problem. If I need to drive, there is a car. There is a car there.
Quite.
But I just love keeping it, you know,
local.
There we go.
Mr. Nasdaq, before I let you go, last few words for the industry, and then also when people are looking for you, where can they find you?
Okay, so a last few words for the industry is, guys, mindset, shift your mindset, please, right? If you want to embark on a journey, remember, yes, we don't want to pay people for services because based on your experiences, you've been scammed, you've learned nothing, and so forth. So learn the skill, okay? Whether it requires you to have someone who you trust and get along with to help you get the skill and start trading, right? if, again, we spoke about this, if you want the M3, deposit M3 money. If you want the house, deposit the house money. If you want, let's say a car that costs 60,000 Rand or 70,000 Rand, just entry level type of thing, right? Deposit money, build, compound your money to get to the goal, right? Each day is an opportunity to make at least 30 to 50% based on your account balance. Just manage your risk and have a good strategy, right? That is my last words for the industry. And to get hold of me is definitely on TikTok, Mr. Nasdaq too. There's a lot of fake profiles going along. Yo, it's sad, yo. And people need to know this. A scammer wouldn't have, how can I say, 10k plus followers, you know? So you must always check the following, how many followers they have, and when was that video updated. Because I like to upload videos like in one day, the scammers, you know. So
all at once, yeah.
All at once. So Mr. Nasdaq on TikTok, and also I have a website, mrnasdaqacademy.co.za. Just Google it there, you'll find me there. So yeah.
Mr. Nasdaq, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure sitting down with you and just getting a further scope about you within this industry.
Yeah.
I wish you all of the best for the future.
Thank you.
And for everything that's coming up in the future. We'll most definitely have future sit-downs.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really excited for that. So, guys, you have heard. You can check him out on TikTok. And he also has a website that you can go and check him out on. But yeah, that has been the podcast for today. We were chilling with Mr. Nasdaq, and yeah, we will see what the future holds so that we can most definitely have another sit down.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining. I will see you guys in my next podcast episode.
Cheers, man.